Hi everyone, welcome back to Destination Truth. It has been a minute. I am so busy. For those of you who don't know, I am an entrepreneur. I just made my own first company. It's a marketing firm, and I've been very, very busy. I don't have time for this channel right now, which is so sad because there are more amazing WikiLeaks and information leaks coming out right now in our modern times than ever before. A channel that I highly recommend following is The Edge of Wonder. Those two goofy guys are coming out with information that I would salivate over. Like, that is the information that I want to bring to you guys. Unfortunately, you gotta pay the bills, and those guys are simply just older, and they have that platform that they can build on. They're already got their families figured out. I'm figuring out my family right now. I'm in the process of getting married, as well as starting my own company. So there's a lot of legwork ahead of me, and I'm too busy to make videos. So that's all irrelevant. Let's get into the content here. The presidential speech, the State of the Union address from yesterday. Oh my God, was that amazing or what? I mean, I'm in the car right now, and lately I've been picking up, while I'm doing the startup thing, I've been having to pick up some extra income in the evening driving my car around the city. So that's why I'm in the car. I'm not doing that right now. But anyway, basically I'm listening to NPR's feed. Yeah, the National Propaganda Radio Network, whatever you want to call them. I'm listening to them because I do like to know the foolish regurgitation of Marxist ideology coming from the left right now. And I will say, after listening to NPR somewhat over the last few weeks, about 30% of what they say is really indoctrination, and the other 70 or 65%, it's kind of just news, you know. It's kind of unpartisan. So I'm happy to see that probably the majority is not like propaganda down your throat, but a good chunk of it is very curated. Let's just say that. So, you know, maybe it's more like 60-40 or 60% is nonpartisan and unbiased, but there's a good chunk, somewhere between 30 and 40%, that is definitely propaganda. So be warned. But anyways, guys, talking about the speech from Trump last night, my goodness, so inspirational. It was hilarious that after his speech, NPR had some people on a panel talking about it, and one of them was actually a leftist guy who has been listening and critiquing State of the Union addresses for literally like 25 years. And he said it was actually one of the most inspirational ones he had heard in his lifetime. Okay? That says a lot in my book. That says a lot, because he was a leftist and he said it was the most inspirational. So, you know, politics aside, he said that the vocabulary, vernacular he was using was simply like something you'd expect from like JFK, you know, something, a president we've had in the past. So I was so happy to hear that. And then the rebuttal, the Democratic rebuttal, which I don't personally think there should be a rebuttal to a State of the Union address. I think the president should be allowed to make that and not get criticism for one night, and let the news deal with that personally. But anyways, I'm kind of glad they had it, because that terrible rebuttal is going to push more people out of the Democratic Party and into a more freedom of thought arena. I'm not going to say Republican Party, because that's very unlikely. There's a lot of people out there that are still saying things like hashtag never Trump, whatever. But the rebuttal was just, sorry to say this, but it was garbage. It was racism, sexism, bigotry, more racism, sexual assault, look how far we've come, racism. That was it. I don't have to paraphrase a dang thing, because that's good enough. It was a big sob story. That's pretty much it. And there was nothing good out of it. And it was so bad that another one of the NPR leftist panelists critiquing this State of the Union address literally said what I said, which is, this was more of the same, nothing new. I don't think that this is going to help the leftist base. I think this might actually drive more people to Trump because he had a very strong speech, and you know, a lot of what he said was factual. It was factual, and that was one of the best things. Is NPR's fact checker that was also on this panel. He did a whole bunch of fact checking and basically came out to whenever he said something about my opinion, or he used certain words like America is one of the hottest places to be. He didn't say it was the fastest growing place to be. He said it was the hottest place to be. And the reason why is because factually that's incorrect. If he said it's the fastest growing economy in the world, it's not. Emerging countries are growing faster, sure, but guess what? In the emerging world, in the first countries of the world, in the developed nations, it is the hottest place to be. And that is in large part because of Trump. So, basically, the fact checker basically just said, you know what? He did a good job, and he didn't say too much that was an outright lie, except he was very biased in regards to what he said about people coming over the border. I think I remember them saying that was the biggest thing that he said, is that facts can show that a very small minority of people coming over the border are in fact these killers and rapists, etc., that he always speaks about, which is kind of common knowledge. I think everyone on the left and right know that. They know that immigrants coming here, they're coming here for work. They're coming here to do good things. And they also have a target on their head if they get caught, because if they get caught, they know that it's very hard to get back into America. So every time they get deported, it makes it that much harder to come to the land of the brave, you know? So they don't want to come here and do crime by and large. But that's not news to anybody on the left or right. So that whole point they made is kind of mute. No one really cares, because the fact is that Trump is telling the truth. There are people coming across the border that are serial murderers, etc. And those few people are giving the rest of the immigrants a terrible bad name. Bottom line is, it becomes a huge burden on our country. Oh, I'm sorry, that's terrible. Okay. It becomes a huge burden on our country when there's so many of them. And they're basically leeches on the country because they don't pay into our system, they only take out. So that's a whole topic I could go into for a long, long time, but I'm going to try to keep this video under 10 minutes. So bear with me. But in closing, guys, I got to say, my favorite part of the speech, absolute favorite, was when he said, we are not a socialist country. We are the land of the free, and it is going to stay that way. Man, I was alone, but I was clapping, man. I don't want this country to be communist, and if it's not socialist, then it'll definitely never be communist, because communism is effectively socialism with a dictator that sets all the rules and is willing to kill anyone that even disagrees with them. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the State of the Union address. Here's a clip of the State of the Union address. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.